Kerala, known for its serene landscapes and lush greenery, was hit by a natural calamity yet again.
ऐसी तबाही केरल के वायनाड में पहले शायद ही देखी गई।
Massive landslides and relentless floods have claimed the lives of at least 73 people in Wayanad district.
Now at 47, and the number will go up is what ministers and officials in the Kerala government are telling us.
Most of the victims were tea estate workers and their families who were asleep in makeshift shelters. This devastating event has left hundreds stranded, their homes buried under debris and their lives forever changed. Rescue efforts are underway, but they are being hampered by relentless rain and treacherous conditions and the collapse of an important bridge.
Several rescue personnel are, even though there are a lot of them on ground, they're not able to reach some of these very vulnerable and affected areas.
The Army, the National Disaster Response Force, and local officials are working to reach those trapped. Helicopters from the Indian Air Force have been dispatched, but adverse weather conditions have made their task perilous. This man was stuck in chest-high mud for hours, unable to free himself until he was finally reached by emergency workers. The serene hamlets of Mundikai, Churulmala, Attamala and Nulpura, once symbol of Kerala's beauty, are now scenes of despair. Vehicles washed away by floodwaters lie wrecked against tree trunks. Huge boulders block rescue paths. Amidst heavy rains, rescue workers bravely shift the injured and the deceased, hoping to find survivors. Around 400 families were stranded in the region following the collapse of a bridge in Churulmala town. This bridge is apparently the only access to Attamala and Mundikai. The bridge collapse therefore delayed rescue operations in those towns for many hours. Army engineers were deployed to help build a replacement bridge after the one that linked the affected area to the nearest town of Churulmala was destroyed. The tragedy struck Mundikai town around 1 a.m. amid heavy rains. This is when the first landslide hit. As rescue operations began here, the local Manorama online publication said that a second landslide struck close to a Churulmala school that was already doubling up as a relief camp following a landslide on Monday. Tuesday's landslides are the worst disaster in the state since 2018, when heavy floods killed almost 400 people. In 2019 too, 17 people had died after a landslide had struck Puttumala in Wayanad, around 10 km from the areas currently affected.
August rainfall in the state so far has been 2.5 times the normal for the period.
Kerala's vulnerability to such calamities is well known. With around 14.5% of its land area prone to heavy rains and flooding, the state faces annual monsoon challenges. The Western Ghats, which traverse the state, are particularly susceptible to landslides. Over 1,800 square kilometers have been identified as high landslide hazard zones.
As Kerala reels under the worst floods in 100 years, situation in Pathanamthitta and surrounding areas remain grim.
Experts attribute these frequent disasters to a combination of climate change and human activities. The shifting monsoon patterns, deforestation, and unplanned construction exacerbate the situation. Heavy rains are now concentrated over fewer days, leading to intense downpours that trigger landslides and floods.
Houses and shops are underwater, and many people have been stranded.
Climate change has significantly altered rainfall patterns in Kerala. Some locals and even some experts believe that the monsoon rains, which traditionally arrived in early June, are now delayed. Now, this leads to more intense bursts of rain later in the season. This shift results in high-intensity rainfall over shorter periods, increasing the risk of landslides and floods. Additionally, human activities such as deforestation and construction in vulnerable areas have destabilized the land. Environmental experts have said that unplanned construction and inadequate engineering structures exacerbate the problem. Now, roads and buildings often block natural drainage channels, leading to increased water pressure and triggering landslides.
The National Green Tribunal, the NGT, has now upheld the Kasturi Rangan report and has banned the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change from granting environmental clearances in Kerala's Western Ghats, which is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Now, the Western Ghats' topography, marked by thick soil cover, is particularly susceptible to these changes. Some scientists say that during the monsoon, the soil becomes saturated with rainwater, making it unstable. When the water content reaches a threshold, the soil mass weakens, causing debris to flow.
So the debate over environment versus development continues, and that is one of the sore points, as some environmentalists also have pointed out.
The resilience and spirit of Kerala's people shine through even in these darkest times. As the state grapples with this tragedy, it's a stark reminder of the urgent need for sustainable development and climate action. For those looking for information or wanting to help, you can contact the 24-hour control room on these numbers. Let's support Kerala in its time of need.